Hello and welcome back to our YouTube channel. I am Alicia Phoenix and I'm here with
Jodi
Jodi.
Harrison, CEO of Prolong Lash. We love being here with you today. Good
Yeah,
session. Something really exciting to talk about. Get our teeth into.
yeah, we're going to talk about reasons to become a lash trainer. Why would you want to become a lash trainer?
To further your career and take the next path and take it to the next level and train some people up at the same time.
Oh, there you go, answered. Okay, bye.
Bye.
We should probably go a little bit deeper,
All
should
right,
we?
we will. We'll go a little bit deeper. First of all, let's go into the growing demand. There's such a demand for lash trainers out in the industry now, isn't there?
Yeah. So we did have another recent video where we spoke about if the lash industry is dying, and we came to the conclusion that it absolutely is not.
Not.
So we need more lash trainers, I think. We need to keep the industry growing, and there is a demand for lash trainers. People need good lash trainers, right?
The emphasis on good,
Mm.
isn't it, really? We need lash trainers that are good. There's some fabulous lash trainers out there globally that we've had the pleasure of meeting and working with ourselves. I mean, you've been trained professionally and you're very happy with your trainer. You're still in
Yes.
contact.
Yes, I am. So, you do want to be putting quality training out there in the world. So we do need that because there is quite a lot of training out there that's probably a little bit subpar, and also people can't always travel to get trained. So we need good trainers in lots of places.
Everywhere.
Yeah.
Everywhere. And we need the training to be good because we need the lash industry to be good. We need the people that are out there seeing lashes on people, like walking around the street seeing lash extensions going, oh my God, they look amazing.
Yeah.
Rather than seeing lash extensions saying, oh, I don't want those, they look second rate, or it's not something I'm going to invest in, or they do invest in them and then they fall out, or they're just substandard, as you said. So good lash trainers all over the place.
Yeah.
So let's talk about the benefits of becoming a lash trainer. For me, I'm not in the lash industry, so to speak, as a lash artist. As we've talked about before, I'm more operational. So this making more revenue is it interests me. So becoming a lash trainer gives you another stream, another forum to make some more extra revenue. Another service to offer, another all the cliche sayings, but you build your resume too. Like, it's amazing for your resume. You started as a lash artist, then you worked with some brands, you're driving revenue through your retail. Take the next step in your career and become a lash trainer.
Yeah.
All these facets to you as a person. They're amazing.
I agree. And if you're a lash artist, you just have the ability to service one client at a time and just charge them a certain amount based on your demographics, price tolerance. Whereas if you're a lash trainer, you can take a group of people and make a lot more money in the time that you have to spend working. Or if you're going to do one-on-one training, you can actually charge quite a lot for it because that's a valuable service too. Though, even though we're talking about the benefits right now, I would just put a word of caution in there and say it's not as easy as just grabbing a group of people and just saying, let me train you and I'm going to charge you heaps of money. There is a lot of work that goes into becoming a lash trainer.
Well, you were trained. You were a trainer at your salon.
I was, yes. I was a trainer for many years. I trained for about 5 years. Back in the day that I trained, there was really not a lot of training available in Melbourne, Australia, where I was a trainer. So we did training every Sunday and would do a class of 6 people. And yeah, it was great. But there is a lot that goes into it before you become a trainer. Firstly, I had to really hone my own skills and make sure that I was truly a good lash artist, and I knew what I was doing. I knew what I was talking about. I invested my time and resources into learning about glue chemistry and the important things behind lashes. It's not just about doing a set. You are an educator, so you have to teach people every aspect, including information on how to build their businesses, business and marketing advice as well. There's also creating your manual. You need to give people resources to use. And I think that I wrote our training manual with our founder, Kerry, and it took us about 3 to 5 months to probably write that manual. And we never stopped evolving it. Every time something new came out, or every time we thought we could make it better, it evolved. So there is a lot of work that goes into it behind the scenes. It's not just one day and make a lot of cash.
So there you go. There's a really good hint from hands-on experience. Make sure that you're prepared,
Yeah.
and remember back to when you were trained too. What were the good things about who trained you and where you went to and how much you paid? Like your experience as a lash artist is that you've been trained by somebody. So make sure you pull all the good points out of your trainers. Maybe go and see some other trainers out there in your area or somewhere else and see how they're doing it if you were trained 10 years ago. Things might have changed, training might have changed. Keep yourself updated and educated, and then you can take that new knowledge into what you're giving to people, what you're offering.
Absolutely. I'm a huge advocate for people continually training and training with different trainers and seeing what else they can learn. And of course, this is just benefits of why you might do it. We can't really tell you how to do it because Prolong Lash sells in 87 countries around the world, which is very cool, but it does mean that we can't say to you, go and do this to become a trainer. Every single country, even states, even counties have different rules on what you need to do to become a trainer. So you need to work that part out for yourself. But there is really great benefits in doing it. So
there you go.
Yeah. Another good benefit of becoming a trainer, I think, is to build your brand reputation. So if you're a lash artist as well as a trainer, I think to a customer that's coming to get their lashes done with you, that gives them a bit more confidence to know that other to-be lash artists trust you to teach them how to do lashes.
Credibility.
Yeah, it really boosts your credibility.
Credibility. It's like a good review. Mm-hmm. You're a walking review for your own salon or for your own product.
Yeah.
So the more that you're trained and the more training you do and the more that as better you are at it, it's all building your cred, as I said before, building your resume. So the more facets or the more holes you have in your belt. Mm-hmm. So I'm a massive believer in that. I know if I look up something and the person does this, plus they do that, I know that they're very serious. They take their job very serious. They take their commitment to the service very serious.
Yeah.
So it gives apart from the confidence, it shows that you've done your research as well as we're doing ours as the client.
Yeah. Yeah. Your client will feel confident that you know everything there is to know about lashes. So it's only a benefit.
A walking review. Remember that. So when you were actually training people and at the end of the day and you saw 6 little lash artists at the start of the day with big puppy dog eyes looking at you, by the end of the day, did you like doing it?
I was like their lash mum. It's so nice. No, it does actually give you a real sense of satisfaction to be able to help someone grow and impart your lash wisdom onto someone. It makes you feel good, and it does give you confidence in yourself as well. I know a lot of people get that like imposter syndrome where you're like, oh, I don't know, like, am I really good at this or whatever? But when you see your work on someone else and you can see the knowledge that you've helped them, they didn't know how to do lashes at the start of the day and at the end they're doing a set of lashes, you just are like, this is amazing. Like, how cool to be able to teach someone something that they can go and make a career out of.
Yeah, and I suppose an offshoot for that for me is I have never been a trainer in the lash industry, but I get on stage and I do presentations and I talk about our aftercare and Prolong's aftercare and how you dilute it and how it works and how you can make extra revenue. And I see that look, I get that look, and then people come up to me afterwards and say, that was so great, your presentation was so great. It's a different form of training, but that satisfaction you actually get from empowering someone with that information, it's really worth it. I find it really rewarding. I love the conferences. Love the conferences.
And inspiring people. The feeling.
Yeah, there you go. So I jump up and down like one of our commercials here. I won't say it, but they jump up and down in the commercial.
I think they do that in US commercials as well, even more.
Do they? All right. Well, we're jumping up and down as we speak now. There you go. So can I ask you a question? Did it, from when you started training, did you jump straight into a big group, or did you start small, start with 1 or 2, or is it easy to start with 6? Like, what's a step? Some advice on that.
Yeah, so when I started training, Kerry, our founder, was doing the main training in our salon, and then I started really assisting her. So that was where it began for me. And we just had 3 then because we only had 3 beds in our salon. And you need your lash students to train on a model. I'm a big advocate for live models. Using pretend hair and fake models is not the same as using a real person.
I'm going to interrupt you for 2
Yeah.
seconds. How many times are you in a lash group or something, or on Facebook or on your Insta, and you see our resellers or our partners or our friends screaming out, "I need someone in an hour down to have their lashes done."
Yes.
I always look at the location and think, could I get? Oh, I can't get down there. I can't help them out.
Can't get to Texas in 45 minutes.
Do
Damn.
you see that everywhere? So people do use the live models,
Yeah.
obviously. Yeah.
Absolutely. I would always say use a live model. It's not the same to do it not on a live model. So we had 3 beds. So we started off with 3. And I think that that was good because you really need to think about how long is your course? Is your course a 1-day course? Is it a 5-day course? How are you structuring it? And how many people can you really cater for in that time? Because I would want to be making sure that I'm at least spending time, an hour or even more with that person. So how many hours long is your course? And when I'm saying an hour, I'm talking about just watching them do lashes and giving them feedback. There's, of course, all of the content material and things that you went through. So our course was 2 days of teaching, and then also they had the opportunity to come back into our salon and book times and do extra sessions with us for 3 months afterwards. So that was quite a valuable way for them to learn. But even when we moved to a salon that had 15 beds available, that didn't just meant we went, oh, we'll have 15 students then, because we knew that we didn't have capacity to really train 15 students. So the most we ever took was 6, and we still had 2 trainers. So for me, it never really got more than 3 people. That was your responsibility. It's up to you. Yeah, I would say smaller is better because you can give more attention and you'll be a more valuable course. You can charge more if you only have 3 people, so don't worry about that. It's better to have 3 people, train them right, charge them a bit more than to have 15 people and charge them peanuts and no one learns anything.
And then we've got those lash artists out there that aren't doing the best for the industry.
Yeah.
So you've got to do your bit. You've actually got to do your bit. I honestly think any training needs to start small, and maybe you always stay small. It's not, as you said, the bigger you are doesn't mean you're making more money. And be smart. Be smart about your numbers and your capacity. Everyone trains differently too, and everyone can. Some people are real talkers, and some people don't talk as much. I mean, if you're a real talker, you're going to give that client a little bit more time, or that trainee more time, because you're a talker. And some people don't talk as much, so they could probably get around to 3 or 4 people a lot quicker.
Yeah.
It might be a little bit. So everyone learns differently, but just be careful not to go too big too quick.
I totally agree.
So yeah, how people learn and how you teach. You have to be really switched on and find out which way suits you. So some people are visual and some people are more listening, and they're the standard, industries out there. But for lash, you have to work out your technique and how you're going to train that and how you're going to portray that to your trainees. Don't just go in there and think that training's easy, because it's not easy, and everyone is different. So work out which technique works for you. Do you sit down while you're training? Do you stand up while you're training? Do you stand at the front? Do you stand next to the beds? I mean, there must be so many. As I said, I'm not the expert on lash training, but just being in a classroom, training people, customer service, what I'm from, we used to sell jeans in this company I was with. Do I take them to the change room and get them to try on the jeans? Do I do it out the front and show them the styles laying on the tables? So you have to work out what works for you, number one, and what works for the people that you're training.
Yeah, I think there's a few challenges that come into being a lash trainer, and one of them would be that every person is quite individual. So sometimes having a very rigid schedule or a rigid way of doing things isn't going to work for everybody. If you just imagine school, for example, a lot of people say school wasn't for them or it didn't suit them. They're the type of person that likes to get up and move around, and then other schools are created, like the Montessori version and things like that.
Traineeships.
Yes.
Traineeships.
Yeah, exactly. Just to give people options. And I think as a trainer, it is your responsibility and a challenge that you have to take on to be able to pivot and say, this isn't working for this person. It doesn't, if they've paid the money, it's not good enough just to say, well, this is the way I teach, and if you don't like it and you don't learn lashes today, well, just too bad. Like, I don't think that that's good enough as a lash trainer.
Well, it's not going to give you a good name either.
No.
Because the first thing they're going to do is come out and say, I learned nothing today. You didn't listen to my needs.
And you see that. You see that so often on lash groups. I did this lash training, I paid all this money, and I don't even know how to put on a lash still. That lash trainer wasn't adapting to the person's needs as a student. And yeah, as a lash trainer, you have to rise to that challenge and make sure that you're able to do
Rise above.
exactly.
So, and just not even that, working out your time schedule too, when you can fit the training in. And also something recently that happened with you and Carol, you guys went and did a course over a weekend. And for you to do that 2-day course over the weekend, it threw your whole week out. It threw your whole life out. So
Sounds so dramatic, but it really actually did, because I mean, for those who don't know me, I have 3 little kids under 6 years old. And that means, our weekends are chock-a-block full of karate and swimming lessons and choir practice and all of these things. And although my husband's a very hands-on husband, like dealing with 3 different kids' activities all weekend on your own is almost impossible, to be honest. There's like, we divide and conquer on the weekends. And to add a day to your week, like I said, we used to train on a Sunday because the rest of our week in the salon was filled with clients. So every other day we had clients on the bed getting lashes. Sunday was the only day we could do. So you need to work out, are you going to take a day off lashing or 2 days off lashing? How often are you going to do that? Are you going to do training every week? Are you going to do once a month? Whatever you're going to do, you need to fit it into your schedule, because it can really not be easy to just change your services and fit something new in.
Then it becomes a burden.
Yeah.
Then it becomes a burden. Then it doesn't become that the passionate reason you went into lash training. Then becomes something that you've got to do. Oh, it's got to fit in here. And also work out, like the Alicias of the world, you can't always have a course at the same time. You've got to have a flexibility with when you have your courses.
Yeah.
So you may have to, when you're learning, when you're doing your first lot of training, you'll have to work out yourself which days suit better.
Yeah.
Do you take a Monday afternoon? Do they want a Monday at night? Do they prefer Fridays at the end of the week? You have to really work out what you're going to offer.
So you can think about the courses that you're going to run as well. So if you were running a course where you're teaching eyelash extensions, the basics, step 1, these people might be more flexible. Perhaps they're not in a career of lash extensions yet, and they may be able to come during the week. Perhaps the opposite. Perhaps they have a full-time 9-to-5 job and they're wanting to do this on the side, so they want to do it after hours or on the weekend. And if they're already a lash artist and you're targeting lash artists to upskill, to maybe teach them big volume or lash mapping or something different that's just an add-on skill to the base that they already know, we pretty much can say we know lash artists work from Tuesday to Saturday. So maybe your course has to be on sorry.
It's all right. I just told you to stop banging.
Passionate.
I just told you to stop banging. I hit the table really hard.
I'm getting too passionate with my hands, and Jodi's telling me off, everyone, because I feel passionately about this. If your customer's a lash artist and they're wanting to upskill, they're going to be working from Tuesday to Saturday generally. We pretty much know that from lash artists. Their weekend tends to be a Sunday, Monday. That's fairly standard across the industry. So you're probably going to have to run your course on a Sunday, Monday. So how does that affect your business and how you run it the rest of the week?
That's right. And don't be afraid to ask for feedback from your clients, from your customers, from your potential people that you're training. Put it out there in your course guide that that they can have an option. Like their options are, maybe you throw 3 or 4 options out that suit your schedule over a month or 6 weeks, and see who joins the group for the most time, and then that becomes the time you use. Mm-hmm. I mean, use your feedback from the actual clients that are doing the training. What would you have changed? Make sure you have a feedback form at the end of your training so you can get the response you want. You can get the would have preferred this course to be at night time, would have preferred that I come out with this, would have preferred that you didn't do this. I mean, be ready for open criticism and constructive criticism, we'll call it, from the people that you're training. You'll become a better trainer if you listen to the people that you're training.
That's so important. So get feedback and get reviews. Very important. 2 separate things. So make sure you're getting your feedback and potential constructive criticism directly to you, and then also just let them know anything that they loved about the course. Please give me a review, because you want to grow your business as a lash trainer, and that is a challenge of being a lash trainer as well. Marketing to lash artists is different to marketing to your lash clients that you're trying to get to come in and get their lashes done by you. You're now got a completely separate audience. So think about your marketing and how you're going to have to pivot your social media posts, maybe Google ads if you're going that way, and things that you're going to do on your website are going to be different to the marketing you did previously.
And use the people that you're training. Get them to generate content for you. Get them to not just leave reviews, but while you're actually doing the training course, get them to talk into the camera to say, oh, this was so fantastic. Use them while they utilize them while they're there as well, because it's great for them to show that they're learning, that they're furthering their career, and it's great for you to show who you're teaching.
Yeah.
So I think there's some good handy hints for you there, but just be aware that becoming a trainer is not something that happens overnight. You really need to do your research for it and make sure that the people you're impacting are coming out into the sector with really good skills. We need people being trained properly by good lash artists themselves, producing good lash artists.
It's a real responsibility. You're growing the next generation of lash artists. It's important for our industry that those lash artists are good.
So if you didn't want to be a mum, don't be a trainer.
Same.
So
thank you for joining us today. If you liked our video, please give us a thumbs up. And if you have any questions, you can pop them in the comments below. Jump onto our socials to check out all the other stuff that we're doing. And of course, we have the Aussie Lash Wives podcast, so you can take us around with you and we can chat in your ear. And if you want to buy Prolong Lash, jump onto our website, which is www.prolonglash.com and .au for Australia. But we hope that you become the best lash trainer that you can be.
And we would love to see you advertising it and see it out. So let us know, tag us in your post when you start to train and we'll put it out there for you. Particularly if you're in new areas where you're developing and there's not many trainers around, we'll help you advertise. Let us know. Bye.